closure of educational institutions nationwide in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic was a difficult decision but inevitable. It was initially a temporary measure that later became indefinite to ensure COVID-19 does not achieve worst-case community spread through the schools. Months later, educational institutions remain closed and communities yielding to the rising wave of new infections as a result of active community transmission safety protocols for prevention of spread of COVID-19 remain at the fulcrum of containment measure as authorities fear schools reopening now may compromise efforts to halt rising cases. What is on the drawing board in planning strategies for continuous learning and post-COVID-19 safety when the school system eventually comes back to life? What proactive measures are being put in place by the federal, state government and other key actors in the education sector for a safe school, which translates to a safe society? This is our focus today on Panorama. I am Abubakar Muhammad Musa. The weekly meeting of the Federal Executive Council has been convened. President Muhammadu Buhari is presiding over the meeting, which is the 14th in its series for the year 2020. The engagement, fifth to be held virtually in compliance with the social distancing COVID-19 protocols, is being anchored from the council chamber of the State House. President Buhari was joined by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and 7 ministers. Other members of the council are participating in the meeting from their office locations across the FCT. The council, as the highest policy decision-making body of the federal government, is expected to consider some memoranda aimed at enhancing the next level agenda of the present administration. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that some ministers are billed to give account of their stewardship to enable the government access the level of execution of the mandate areas. NTA News will keep you posted with details and possible resolutions of the meeting as soon as practicable. Construction work on the $2.8 billion Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project has begun. President Muhammadu Buhari, who presided over the virtual flag-off ceremony, described the project as fundamental to the nation's desire not only to industrialize but energize the entrepreneurial spirit of its populace. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
I am unveiling the plan.
Governor Yahya Bello of Kogi State and his Kaduna State counterpart Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, physically performed the flag-off for the commencement of works on the landmark project at Ajaokuta and Rigachikun respectively.
Today marks an important chapter in the history of our great nation.
The president, who was joined at the council chambers by the vice president and presiding officers of the National Assembly to preside over the virtual event, described the gas pipeline project as dear to the people of Nigeria and therefore must be completed on time, within budgetary allocation and according to specifications.
When completed, the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project will provide gas for generation of power and for gas-based industries, which should facilitate the development of new industries and also the revival of urban industries along transit towns in Kogi State, FCT Abuja, Niger State, Kaduna State, and Kano State. The project is therefore part of the delivery of our next level agenda for sustainable development and enhancement of the economic prosperity of our country.
President Buhari expressed delight that the nation's domestic natural gas pipeline networks from Rivers, Delta, and Lagos states will now be connected through Kaduna to Kano states, thereby enhancing national security, creating balanced development, and further integrating Nigeria. Consequently, apart from fostering the development and utilization of local skills and manpower, technology transfer, and promotion of local manufacturing, the project also has significant job creation potential.
I challenge our private sector to lead in maximizing our gas resources to create a petrochemical hub that will resurrect not only our manufacturing capacity, but place us squarely on the path to increase self-sufficiency. As the world evolves, we owe our people the responsibility to prepare them for what the future holds. We therefore must be bold and fearless and can no longer be incremental in our approach. Time is short, and our people's zeal is strong and palpable. Infrastructure development, although long, tedious, and complex, remains a cardinal objective of our administration drive towards ensuring a stable, sustainable, and more prosperous future for our citizenry.
Describing the day as good for Nigeria's development, evolution, and integration, the president is counting on the support of the governors of Kogi, Niger, Kaduna, and Kano states, as well as the Minister of the FCT, towards providing the enabling environment for the successful execution of the project. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And we shall continue Panorama from here in Abuja. The leadership of the National Assembly Tuesday visited the presidential villa to further express their reservation on proposed increase in electricity tariffs scheduled to take off from the 1st of July this year. Senate President Ahmed Lawal and Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila met with President Muhammadu Buhari and thereafter met with the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who heads the Power Sector Reform Coordination Group, for more deliberations on the impending increase in electricity tariff, which the National Assembly believe is not the right time for the implementation due to the challenges of COVID-19 on the nation.
Sure that that announcement of the increase in electricity tariff in Nigeria is untimely, and we believe that we need to do more work to ensure that before any increase, there must be some measures, some steps, and some line of actions that must be exhausted, including the metering. And this is a welcome idea to the Vice President as well.
The situation, the Senate President says, demands that everything possible should be done to make life easy for the people, noting that government is doing a lot in this respect.
Because these are businesses, so they must do everything and anything possible to provide services. It's when they provide services, efficient and effective services to consumers, that they can make money. But in the process, as a government, we too must ensure that we discharge our obligations as provided for in the share purchase agreement signed. And once we're able to achieve that, we would have a better situation in the power sector in Nigeria. It's doable. It has happened elsewhere.
It is not at this time that we will be increasing electricity tariff. Yes, there may be a need, but there must be timing. That's the work of the parliament, to help, to assist, to work together and have a symbiotic relationship with other arms of government and with the people. International Parliamentary Day, we're the closest to the grassroots, we're the closest to the people. We feel the pulse, we hear them, we see them, we understand them. We're a heartbeat away from the people, the grassroots that we represent.
The Assembly leaders advised DISCOs to continue to engage with consumers and to provide better service to the people and the nation. Elsewhere, President Muhammadu Buhari has warned political appointees and other government officials against using their position to bestow undue advantage on anyone seeking government job and other favors, saying it is antithetical to the character of the administration. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, in a statement signed by his special assistant, Segun Adeyemi, says the president repeated warnings followed persistent reports of fraudsters using their business cards and purported referral letters from presidential aides and other government officials to solicit employment, contract, and other favors. The minister said ministries, departments and agencies should disregard any purported requests from government officials aiming to confer undue advantage on anyone seeking such favors, adding that the administration has put in place a systematic and disciplined approach to ensure that the government runs smoothly for all Nigerians, whether in area of employment or contract procurement. The statement maintained that the system should be allowed to work for all Nigerians without interference. And to electoral matters, INEC has acknowledged receipt of 14 candidates and running mate for Edo governorship elections, while the credentials and other details of the candidates will be published on the 6th of July. A provisional list, however, shows that 13 males and a female from 14 political parties have been submitted at the end of the online submission exercise on the 29th of June. Out of the 14 candidates, incumbent Governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki, and the Deputy Philip Shuaibu are to fly the PDP flag, while Osage Eze-Iyamo is the governorship candidate of the APC, and Audu Abudu Ganiu is the running mate for Eze-Iyamo. The only female candidate is Agol Tracy, is the candidate of NNPP, while Enebo Sobo is the running mate. We'll pause now for some messages. The news continues shortly. Do stay with us. And here's an update of COVID-19 in Nigeria. New figures from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, confirms over 561 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. These 561 new cases recorded from 18 states and the FCT brings the total number of coronavirus cases to 25,694 in Nigeria. In the breakdown, Lagos has 200, Edo has 119, Kaduna and the FCT have 52 each, Niger has 32, Ogun 19, Ondo 16, Imo 14, Plateau 11, Abia and Oyo states have 8 cases each, Bayelsa has 7, Katsina 6, Kano has 5, Bauchi, Osun and Kebbi State recorded 3 new cases each, while Borno State has 2 and Jigawa confirmed only 1 case. Lagos State is still top on COVID-19 charts in Nigeria with 10,510. The FCT now comes second place with 1,870 cases, followed by Oyo State with 1,380 cases. 9,746 recovered patients have been discharged, while 590 deaths have recorded so far in Nigeria. We'll join Ibrahim back in our Maiduguri Network Center for more on Panorama.
COVID-19 came like a whisper in the night, and while still a distant thunder, educational institutions were closed. Government, stakeholders in the education sector, and the anxious students await experts' position on the way forward for a safe reopening of schools. Sustaining some measures of teaching, learning, and vocation are necessary to keep the idle youth and children busy. How far have we gone with planning for safe alternatives to ensure school system continue as government announces a possible reopening of some schools? With me to discuss these issues this afternoon on Panorama is the Vice Chancellor, Borno State University, Professor Umar Kyari Sandabi. Sir, it's good to have you join us on Panorama this afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, what was your reaction to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 pronouncement on safe reopening of the school system?
Well, as a manager of high institution, this is a welcome news, welcome development, because keeping the student continuously at home is going to truncate the calendar and even the capacity of the students. So it's a welcome development for the safe reopening of the institutions. Now, the task force has said that those schools that can meet the requirements, and these requirements are the safety measures that the nationally acclaimed. We have in that institution, we have already prepared. We have all the necessary, measures. We have the hand sanitizers. We have the hand washing vessels in front of each classrooms. We have the thermometer, which will now measure the temperature of each student daily. That is before each of the classrooms, and even the lecture theaters and laboratories. We have the face mask. We have now made available a lot of face masks. And you see, sometimes the social distances. What we try to do is that we have earmarked one seat, alternate seat. Students should sit alternatively. We have prepared all these things in our lecture theaters. But it is made possible for us because of the small size of the students we have currently. In each class, we don't have more than 45 to 46 students. But where students are coming to take a general course, where all the programs come to take that course, we have a very big lecture theater where we divide the students into groups and then ask them to attend classes maintaining the social distances. So I think we are fully ready, going by the standard or by the requirements of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19.
All right. Okay, so what measures were put in place to ensure students are kept busy while the closure of the institutions due to COVID-19 is sustained?
Well, as for the secondary schools and primary schools, you are aware that the state government, through SPEC and other organizations, have put heads together to engage the students or the pupils through radio programs, television. But you see, the challenges of those media is that it will not reach to the rural areas, and even within the city you cannot conveniently say this is the statistics that we have. You cannot convince anyone that are you satisfied with the statistic of those students that are listening to these programs. But you see, I remember we have in our institution in the Borno State University, what we did was we had a meeting with the student organs, student bodies, that through their WhatsApp groups or some of the emails, we tried to communicate with them how they could, place themselves in reading books. We have also asked them that they are free to come to the library. We have a library and various points of reading in the institution. They can go there and read, or anywhere in this state where they feel that it is convenient for them to go and read, or in their houses also. But they should engage. We keep on communicating with them through their emails and through the internet. I don't think a student in tertiary institution these days that don't have email, or it does not belong to the WhatsApp group. So we are using those avenues to try to engage them, because keeping them idle, I think, is a bit detrimental to the educational system.
All right. Okay, Vice Chancellor, sir, while there is a clamor for reopening of educational institutions by stakeholders and the anxiety mounting, are there plans or strategies in place for a safe post-COVID-19 return to classroom?
Yeah, you see, situation may never be the same as it were. We must be proactive. We must sit down and re-strategize. But by and large, we have said that we are going to put more interest in maintaining very good hygienic conditions around our environments. There is one measures that in that university we are always taking. Every week we fumigate the schools, and during the weekends where students were not there, we fumigate the schools. We go around, see all the nooks and crannies, fumigate the institution to see that nothing unwanted comes into the environment. And these are measures that we must invite into our culture in the post-COVID-19. And the students must be required to to maintain high level of hygiene. It will never be the same as it used to be. And then maintaining of social distances is another area where it will change everything, because of now it is apparent to us and to all the administrators of schools that we must build large halls where we maintain some level of distance from each student. In other words, each student must have a seat for themselves, and we must try as much as possible to provide those facilities. Now, even before the COVID-19, we have provided some digital interactive material in each classroom, where you have digital boards, interactive boards, you have microphones, we have audio-visual materials, so all these things will now keep the students at a distance without bringing them closer for them to hear the lecturer speaking.
Okay. Okay, so how can we ensure adherence to safety protocols in the education institutions with the current level of community disregard to protocols, especially social distance and use of face mask?
This is also an area, we at the university, we have sat down and brainstormed. When we have now strengthened our Department of Sanitation, where we...
Okay, sorry, sir. I think we just have to leave it here for now. Our time is not on our side. We're very sorry for that. Thank you for being part of Panorama this afternoon. Sports is next. CAF confirms major decisions amidst COVID-19 pandemic. Tamara Ibiwe brings us more on Sports Update.